Alright, what's good, what's poppin', gamers? It's been a little bit since I streamed and a little bit since I've done any of these event recap shenanigans, but I'm finally back home. I have a little bit of time before I'm headed out to Slashback for next weekend, so I thought I'd recap a little bit on Frosty Faustings, Perfect Storm, Awaited Fate, and Arc World Tour Finals. So only got half an hour before I gotta head out to bracket, so I'm gonna try and keep it brief here. Let's see. So, Frosty Faustings, of course, very fun. I got to do a little bit of commentary for Grand Blue. I think I did a little bit of Stride, but no Uni. But I got 2 out of 3 of my main games. I won't complain. Got to have a damn good time. And, of course, I entered the brackets as well. It's the silly little fool I am. I was like, everyone's having like fun star.gg names, but me, man, I gotta lock in and say something a little silly from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, I hate all this extra stuff on the side. Okay, whatever, who cares? But yeah, I changed my name to matikanefukukitaru to execution test the commentators a little bit, and I was like, maybe I won't make it on stream. Maybe they'll be like, this is too long of a name, like it's maximum character limit, it'll be annoying, who the hell is matikanefukukitaru? Like, keep it down over there, bro. But thankfully we did make it and we did win our on-stream game. That being said, I did not make it out of pools for Uni or for Grand Blue, but I think Uni I was 1 match away from making it out of pools, and then Grand Blue I think it was like a couple matches out. So you know what? Well, oh wait, no, I might have 0-2'd in Grand Blue. I'm not gonna lie. I think I went 0-2 or 1-2 in Grand Blue, so it was not awesome. But such is life. I got the silly funny tag on, and then I also had commentary, so that was fun. But speaking of commentary, what else happened? So I was competing, I was commentating, and then I also had a little bit of downtime in between. So I want to say, dude, I was so happy because I finally got to hang out with Trip. And for those of you who don't know, Trip is, how would I describe him? He is I owe him a lot in my Uma Musume kind of like fandom journey, because he also like translates in VC for us, because obviously none of us are like fluent in Japanese. But on his copy of the game, he'll just like go through and like live translate routes. So it is because of him that I get to know a lot more about Uma Musume outside of just the anime and the OVAs and the movies and the manga as well. So it's very cool. We started off with Fine Motion, then a bunch of other routes as well, which has been very fun. But I finally got to like meet him and talk to him in person. And while we were hanging out and booling in between like some of the days, I think we were hanging out in like Rex's suite, so it was like a bunch of us, like mostly uni folks, and then these motherfuckers put on like horror, like fake horror documentaries at like 1 in the morning. It was insane work, man. Let me go find it. Can I just like switch over to show full desktop? Surely there's nothing. Yeah, I think we're good to show full desktop. So the first one that we watched, I'm just gonna mute it, man. This one's insane. So the first horror video that we watched was what is this? They're like on a trail, but they're driving on this like really narrow trail, so they can't like drive fast. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this is, it's very claustrophobic kind of video, I'm not gonna lie. We'll scroll through a little bit here so you guys can get a little preview of what goes on, but that was already a little spooky in and of itself, right? And I had to wake up pretty early. I was like, oh, but I want to stick around and hang out. And then like the whole 7 minutes, I'm like, I hate this, bro. I'm like, after this video, I'm gonna leave. And then it immediately auto-played into this next one. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of having fun booling. Maybe I'll stick around for one more video. And it is about someone who gets like stuck in an elevator and goes to hell. And as someone whose hotel room was on a different floor, like this was legitimately an awful idea maybe for me to watch right before bed. Yeah, it's always just one more video. Yeah, one more, last one for real. So yeah, just like skipping on through. She like gets sent down to hell, man. Like it's cooked. What is the most watched part? Yeah, she's like trembling in fear. She's been like stuck in the elevator for like what feels like 1,000 years. It finally opens back up. Dude, this shit had me cooked, man. It's like overlaid with footage of people in the overworld too. Then she just walks out into the nothingness. I'm like, dude, I'm like 8 floors up. I do not, like, if there's a staircase, I'd rather take that than the elevator right now, man. I might be cooked. But anyway. So what else did we do? We were watching, you know, the classic seafood TikToks, which I'm surprised no one has like re-uploaded to YouTube, which is good, right? Because all the metrics go to the original account, but it makes it very difficult to show people seafood videos at majors. And I think he's some of the funniest content on the goddamn internet, so. So we watched Sifu, we watched fake documentary Q horror stuff. Oh, Trip also at majors likes to translate. So Dokura has a series of like going over Kusoge characters in like old fighting games and then bringing on an expert from that game and explaining like why in the context of this game that this character or that character is so like broken or overpowered. They do like a little breakdown. It's very fun, but obviously it's like all in Japanese, so none of us would be able to watch that content unless we were with Trip and he was able to translate it for like a whole room of us. So I think this one, I think like Friday or Saturday night, he was translating it was some character from Sengoku Basara Cross, but it's not the green guy, it was the red guy. I'm like forgetting his name off of the top of my head. It was not top 1 guy, it was like top 5 guy. But yeah, that was very fun. And then Saturday morning, I want to say, we're hanging out and we saw this, you know, cursed little interaction. I don't know if you guys can hear it over the BGM. Let me go find that on the side and mute it real quick. So I'm commentating with Sammy Fish. We're hanging out for uni pools. It was a really good time. Sammy Fish, I think, is one of the easiest commentators that I've like gotten to work with. He's like super knowledgeable and like, you know, he's very easy. I think his cadence is very like comfortable to work with. So we see Animal Companion and CG pulling up to the stand. I'm like, oh, I've like seen these guys before. You know, it's probably going to be, you know, Enkidu Orie. And they head up to the stand. And all of a sudden, I see that CG has like this piece of paper in his hand. I'm like, oh no, like it's not even on his phone. Like he got this shit printed out. You know, so he's probably going to show it to the camera. Like, I wonder what we got going on here. Hopefully you guys can hear. Like you're saying, right, on these stream nerves, you're fighting for your tournament life. Is that the Swagapito picture from Climax of Night? That's Tokateo! What the hell? That's Hilda. That's Hilda with the Filipino sun. What is going on? Why did you print this out? What is CG doing?
Why does CG have it?
In, buddy.
Why does CG have it?
But like, so CG had it because CG is from the PNW, the Pacific Northwest. You know who else is from the Pacific Northwest? Ankle Gator. Top tier shit poster. Came from Strive. Now in uni. And now in UMA as well. So let me just like dissect this picture for you guys because it's like a legitimately insane piece of work. So this is a selfie that we took at Climax of Night. And it's me. I think this is Cal, Mo Sin, and Ryser. And then we just took a selfie like outside of the venue because we were like, yeah, let's take a selfie real quick. Yeah. It was like the last night. We were all like pretty sauced. And then I posted it on Twitter and I was like, me and my favorite Filipinos. I'm literally the only Filipino in this picture. And then Ankle, either when he got home or I guess like on his laptop in the hotel, like he made this shit pretty quick. He added Swagapino Miku. He put Obey hats on all of us with the damn Ray-Bans. I actually don't know why Teo is in the back here. I think that one's just artist interpretation. We got Uma Pinoy all the way to the bottom. He actually gave us Filipino flag earrings. The whole picture is so insane that it's like dissecting it. I feel like I see something new every time. And we have Hilda, but instead of doing IC5C, it's the fucking Filipino sun. And then also, so he printed and laminated it, but you can also see here that he like signed it to JAYTSU'S from Ankle Gator. So I don't have it on me, but I will explain why I don't have it on me later. Trust me, I did not lose it. Someone has it. Actually, someone in this chat has it, but we'll go over that a little bit later. So I got jump scared, you know, pretty early on in the morning on that commentary block, but that was when they cut to the camera for it too, man. They got like you're saying, right, on nerves, you're fighting for your tournament. The zoom in is killing me, bro. The slow zoom in is so good. That's so peak. Is it me? Oh, Aldrin has it? I thought Aldrin gave it to... Did Aldrin not give it to Ricer? I thought he handed it off. That was like the whole point. We were supposed to leave it as like a Horcrux board. Oh, I guess, you know, that's fine. That's okay. The Filipino picture stays with the Filipino. It only makes sense. Not currently. Okay, okay. There's always a chance that he can hand it off to you at locals. Let's see, what else happened? Oh, speaking of silly things that happened during commentary blocks. So during the Grand Blue block, let me check my Discord to make sure I'm not losing anything over on the side here. We got 15 minutes until WASD. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way through AWT. We're going to have to wait till after bracket. But speaking of bracket, so Dave from SoCal holds up his phone during, I think this is Grand Blue Pools, and finds a screenshot of me going, "Is Dave a Super Creek fan, lol?" That's sick. And I don't remember where this was from or why I had asked that or what he was like wearing or adorning that I had like been prompted to ask that question. But he shows it to the camera and I'm like on commentary like, wait, what was the answer to it though? Like, was it a yes? Like, is he showing me this because he is a Super Geek fan, or is he showing me it because he's not at all? And it was funny that I had assumed that. So I kind of left the question open-ended, and then we moved on with our commentary lives. Only to be greeted when he qualified into top 24. He brought the marked up version of the picture, and it's like, is Dave a Super Creek fan? Yes, I am, which is so sick. This dude is so unserious. I'm glad we were able to have this conversation. Hope to see you at Awaited Fate. You know, man, they say fighting games are communication, right? They say it's like a conversation. I didn't realize this is what they had meant by that. But getting jump scared by Uma Musume, everyone thought, okay, JAYTSU'S gonna be on commentary. He's gonna like Uma Musume brain rot me against my will. Time to pull up and mute the stream. That was not my fault. That one was not prompted by me. I just respond to the people, let it be known. But yeah, other than that, you know, bracket was fun. I kind of got my ass beat. Commentary was fun, obviously, always a good time. And then I think, what was it? It was like Saturday night, like a bunch of us went out for Kura Sushi. But there was a good amount of us. I think it was like 16-ish, so like a big party. So I think we were divided into like 4 booths. You know, it was a bunch of the rest of our friends, and then my booth, because we came late. I was like trying to make sure everybody went to the right place. So I was like, okay, I'll go in the last Uber. So it was like me, Trip, Werb, and Bancho. So we unintentionally had like the Uma Musume brain rot corner, and it was so funny, man. Some of the other tables, they were like absorbed in eating as one normally is during dinner. But our table, bro, like, we would grab food, scarf it down, and then just like brain rot immediately. And this would repeat. Like, it was 90% yapping and like 10% eating. It was so fucking funny. There's a I think there's like a cut of tuna, if I'm not mistaken, that's called Bin Turbo. And every time it would pass through on the conveyor belt, a different one of us would like look and make the pog face and be like, Twin Turbo. And like, you know when a joke is like so unfunny that it loops back around to being funny because you've given up the hope of making other people laugh. Like, you're just saying it because you know as soon as the words like exit your mouth, you're gonna fucking like cackle. That was the energy that we had back there. And we were just like, we were yapping so much that people from other tables in our party would just stop on by and they're like, what the hell are you guys on about? And we're just like, it's hard to explain. Like, you know, we're stimming over a cut of tuna that sounds like a horse. Trip got like conveyor belt ramen from a sushi place because it was Fine Motion's birthday, and Fine Motion loves ramen. And then he finishes the bowl and he's like, happy birthday, Fine Motion. We're like, oh, was the ramen any good? He's like, no, it was incredibly mediocre and every bite was worse than the last. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear. He's like, it's her birthday, man. Like, I gotta do it. So that was a good dinner. That was pretty good. Frosty Faustings, I gotta say, I had a very good time. So I'm glad I stopped on by. Okay, so I'm going back to record this in post because I realized that I forgot two important stories from Frosty Faustings. I was kind of rushing during the stream, but like the recap would not be the same if I did not bring these up. So Sunday night, we were looking for things to do, and then we were like, wait, there's a karaoke spot pretty nearby that hosts like a good amount of people. So Trip and a bunch of our friends were like, all right, if anyone's down for karaoke, like we're all gonna meet here, this time at night, we're gonna do whatever, right? So we had enough where we had 2 rooms. So one of the rooms had like the standard karaoke setup where it's like, okay, there's a list of songs that have the karaoke instrumentals, and if you find one that you know, then you can kind of like sing along, like very standard. The other room actually had it so that on your phone, you could basically like cast any video to YouTube, right? And it was basically playing off of a tablet onto a monitor. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. And I was like, I feel like some of my favorite songs might not actually be in the karaoke machine. So I moved over to the YouTube room, which happened to have Trip, which happened to have Werb. So the 3 Uma Brainrot gamers were in the same room with infinite potential because we could just like cast any YouTube video. So we did karaoke for Uma Summer, we did karaoke for Trace and Ondo, and we also did Uma Pyoi Densetsu. And Uma Summer was like okay. Uma Pyoi Densetsu was like not too bad. It's pretty fast, right? But it's not the hardest thing in the world. Dude, Trace and Ondo is legitimately an impossible song to do all in one breath. Like there is no time for you to rest. In the music video, there's a reason that like everybody, passes out for a little bit from like heat exhaustion. I didn't realize how serious this shit gets, man. Then also, I think Werb put in Machine Gun Kiss from the Yakuza series, and he was like, bros, I don't even need the lyrics. I'm chilling. So he was singing the whole song, did not look at the screen once, and he had it 99% perfect. And I say 99 because he got every word right. But as soon as the title of the song dropped, in the song, like the words Machine Gun Kiss, those were the only lyrics that he forgot. And then we all just stared at him like, bro, come on. You missed the most important part of the song. This dude knew the second verse, he knew the bridge by heart, but like, he fumbled when it mattered the most. I can't believe it. So that was karaoke. That was very fun. We were also able to order drinks to the room. So it was a delirious time with I think like 18 folks split up between 2 rooms. It was good. I was a big fan. I'm definitely trying to go back next Frosty Faustings as well. But speaking of ending the weekend as well, so of course once all the tournaments and stuff ended, we were all big chilling. We were like, oh, what are we gonna do? So we were hanging out in one of the rooms, and I think I mentioned this in the actual stream, but Trip, of course translates some of the Doguro videos for old Kusoge fighting games, and then gets an expert on to kind of explain why that character is so good in the context of the game. But there's like a classic one that he had like translated for a lot of our friends, like I think 1 or 2 years ago. It's like the top 1 character in Sengoku Basara Cross. His name is Mori Motonari. He has like so much broken shit. Like he is by far and away the best character in a cast of mostly broken characters. So everyone like references this video. They're like, oh, this dude is like so broken. Like, oh, imagine this character had this thing that Mori has. But I think out of that group of like 12 plus people, I was like the only one who was not there for that translation. So I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like I'm not here for everything. It's okay for there to be inside jokes that I don't understand. Then we were vibing out in the last night, and they were like, nah, JAYTSU, like you gotta watch this video. And mind you, these videos are like 45 plus minutes long. Like some of them have part 2s, right? Because there's just so much detail to go through to accurately explain why this character is so broken. And this room of like 12 folks, they're just like, nah, JAYTSU, like you gotta watch this video. And Trip is like, yeah, man, I'll just like retranslate it for you. Like, it's okay. I'm like, guys, I'm like the only one who hasn't seen it. I do not want to subject you to almost like an hour of a rerun. They're like, dude, nah, this shit's so good. Like, you gotta see it. So honestly, like, obviously it was a crazy video. That dude has the best burst in the game. He has the best offense, defense, neutral. Like, it's insane. You have to watch the video yourself to like truly understand. But I was just kind of grateful that like, the bros were like, yeah, man, this is a collective, like, multiple hours of our time just, like, down the drain watching something that we have already seen. But we want you to see it. And we want you to be, you know, a part of this little, you know, inside joke shenanigans that we got going on here, because we don't want you to feel left out. So I was like, you know what, bros? I appreciate it. So that was a very nice way to end off the weekend. And then I got owned by trying to work remote, and it was like one of the busiest days of my life. But, you know, I was carried by the energy that I had, you know, at the end of that weekend. So it was a good time. Frosty's was good. Okay, back to the stream. So after Frosty Faustings, I think a couple weeks after, I made my way up to good old Canada once again, stopping on by and, you know, hanging out with the ECFB homies. So I got to do a little bit of uni commentary, and then I did Strive Top 8 and Grand Blue Top 8. But while we were hanging on Uni 2 pools, like, we had to kill some time waiting for players and, like, to reset one of the stations. So this picture that I had gotten, like, I got the physical copy from Ankle from Frosty's, and I was like, it would be so funny if I brought this and then just, like, showed it to stream while Rycer was waiting to play. And I was like, fingers crossed, because he was in the pool that we were commentating, and I was like, please God, let him be there. Please God, let me shout out Chaos for the follow. Thank you. That was here before the horde. True. Thanks for stopping on by, gamer. Dude, yeah, this was so silly. We were just waiting for them to load in, and then so the projector has, like, the commentator cam around the corner, so Rycer just sees this, like, in front of him, and we're just, like, flashing this big ass picture of him dripped out as a Spaghettino. He's like, what are you doing? Stop. He's like, help me. Oh, here before the horde. Okay, I understand what you mean now. Thank you, Aaron, for the raid, stopping on by. Was good. Was poppin'. I'm just doing a little event recap. We just went over Frosty's, and we have bracket in like 10 minutes. So I kind of got to speed through the rest of it, but we got Perfect Storm, then we have Awaited Fate, and then a little bit of Arc World Tour Finals as well, which maybe is going to come after the bracket run. But hopefully you guys had a good stream. Hopefully you were hanging out. I'm getting ready for WASD. See you in 10 minutes. Godspeed, Chino. Nice. Yeah, thanks for stopping on by, everyone. I'm just going through some silly, funny memories. So yeah, this picture that we got from Frosty Faustings, I brought it on because I was like, Ryceo's gonna be there. I got a jump scare with him with this on stream. And then he's like, what are you guys doing, man? You unserious motherfuckers, bro. Yeah, perfect storm spot. Okay, you stopped on by at a perfect time. Yeah, I got like all these little stories, but I spent like the first half an hour of stream. I like accidentally hit my little Chio acrylic block standee off of my desk. That's why I got jump scared. But I wrote down all the stories I wanted to bring up and then spent the first like 45 minutes of stream finding the Twitter links. So as it turns out, maybe we should like prep things before we go live. It was a good yapping time. Hello, new members. Did you know that you can watch the first episode of Uma Musume Cinderella Grey for free on YouTube? You can do that. All right, let's see. What else happened? Oh yeah, I was very bored. I think the last day, because I was like, oh, I finished all my top 8 stuff. We're just waiting to go out for dinner. And then I was just thinking of like a Discord sticker. And for whatever reason, it occurred to me like it would be funny to recreate this. So I was like, Shino, can you take a picture of me like making this pose from a Discord sticker? He's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, sure, whatever. What's it called? So I took the picture, and then it turned out like that night, or I guess like the next morning, right? But it was Japan time. It was Smart Falcon's birthday. Like it just happened to be the sticker. I did not do that intentionally. And then you know, I'm just being a silly little horse, man. There's not much else to that story, to be honest. But yeah, we did 2 top 8s, and I don't have a picture of it, but you know, you can kind of tell by the size of this cropped out lamppost and the size of this door that I am not a man of particularly large stature, despite how I crop myself in the webcam frame. So they had stools instead of like actual like a commentary desk and table for those top 8s. I swear to you, my feet were hanging like a solid 2 feet off of the ground at any time. If I got like too hype, there was a legitimate chance I would have just like fallen out of the chair. It was very silly. Trip's gonna kill you for that? Hey, I caught the Chio, let it be said. Running ads because the streamer man is so greedy. It's true. I meant to disable pre-roll, but I also spent again, 40 minutes gathering Twitter links, so my pre-roll ad list time ended up getting, overlapped anyway. Smart JAYTSU Falcon. You guys accept quirked up white boys in the Filipino photos? It's true. Oh my god, we don't have that picture, but yes, we do. We do accept quirked up white boys in the Filipino photos. Corey doesn't count though. I've just imprinted Filipinality on him. But everyone else, it's true. I wish I pulled up that picture, but I didn't know what to search for in the Twitter search function. So I was like, you guys can just believe me on that one. Also, I was supposed to fly home early Monday morning and then do my classic work from the airport type shit. And then there was a big ass storm in Canada. So I was just stranded for a little bit. And I was like, my flight got rescheduled to Tuesday night. I don't know what I'm going to do. But we were staying over Aldrin's place, staying over his apartment. And I was like, Aldrin, I'm so sorry. Is it okay if I just bum out at your place and work remote on my laptop for a couple days? And he's like, yeah, sure, man. Don't worry about it. This dude, he's so sick, man. He would wake up to make me coffee. He let me use his apartment gym. We got back from the gym and he was like, JAYTSU, do you want a protein shake? I'm like, I would love a protein shake, no lie. He's like, would you like fruits in it? I got frozen fruits too. He's like, and he just pulls out the frozen fruits bag. I'm like, yeah, man, that'd be really nice. I'm over here sobbing, just sipping on a protein shake in the corner of his living room. He's like, oh, here you go, man. So that was very nice of him. Thankfully, I didn't need to get an extra hotel or drop a bunch of money on getting a room for those couple days, which is very nice, I gotta say. So big shout out to Aldrin as well and making sure I didn't get owned by the weather, because that could have gone way worse. Mygo mentioned it's true. I think we watched what did we do? We watched one of the Mygo concerts actually. I think it was 2 of the Ave Musica lives, which I still haven't watched. I gotta get on it at some point, but today is not that day. Every time I come back and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna consume X media or Y media as soon as I get back from an event, I look at my calendar and then I'm like, well, I got something in 2 or 3 weeks that I gotta prep for, so I guess I'm pushing it back even further. This is what I said about Monster Hunter 2. I feel so bad. I told my IRL friends, once I'm back from Arc World Tour Finals, I'll boot up Monster Hunter. And then I forgot about Slashback. And when I get back from Slashback, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, let me boot up Monster Hunter. And then I'm like, wait. Combo breaker around the corner. So, treadmill of events never truly ends. He's chefing it up for you. You didn't marry him. Honestly, at that point, I might as well. I would have been like, bro, you gotta just let me be your roommate, man. I'm being cared for in a way previously unknown. And also, Ricer linked this tweet. Dude, we were playing casuals, and this dude just spammed Eltnum FF on me, and I kept getting hit by it. I was like, Ricer, you're not gonna live to see your pools, man. I'm actually gonna kill you. He's like, oh? I'm like, fuck ass move, man. Am I getting FF'd here? No, I don't think I am. But I got owned by this move, man. I got noob checked. The classic. But yeah, we survived Perfect Storm, and then immediately the week after, we moved on to heading to the other side of North America. Let me go find it for you guys. I only got 4 minutes, shit. I gotta hurry the hell up. And we'll do Arc World Tour final recap after bracket. But let's see. TNS JAYTSU, not in Aldrin's honor. Is it this one? Imagine I just pulled up a window I was definitely not supposed to show you guys. Thankfully, that was not the case. So the week after, we got back a little bit late from Canada, immediately did my laundry, and then I was like, well, I gotta repack my suitcase and head back out. So they had me doing uni commentary. They had me doing Grand Blue commentary. But also, the full name of Awaited Fate 2025 was Awaited Fate, The Time Is Nay, because they were hosting an Uma Musume Pretty Derby Party Dash bracket. So I'm assuming most of you don't know what that is, understandably. So Uma Musume basically dropped their own version of Mario Party. It only has a few games or a few mini games in it, but they were hosting it, and I was like, Atkins, can I commentate party dash at Awaited Fate. He's like, I got you. Just put in the application. I get there, and the main TO is like, I got these for you. And he just hands me a headband with the damn horse ears. I was like, this is so sick. And then I met Chado, big TM Opera O fan. He's like setting up on the stream layout because he's about to play. He's like, wait, JAYTSU? I'm like, oh shit, Chado, like, what's good? And he's like, I have a gift for you. And it's actually back there. You can't see it or you might just barely be able to see it. But he like printed and laminated this Discord sticker of me merged with Special Week, which is insane. So I just got to hold on to that the whole day, and I have it in my room. It's pretty awesome. Awaited Fate was really fun. I gotta say, the vibes were so good. And then also I got to do Uma Musume commentary, which is very fun.
She's feasting now. I'm worried.
Yeah.
She might have to take an antacid after this one.
That's what I'm saying. The heartburn might go crazy. A couple eater skills available as well.
The boss is almost neck and neck. 35 to 36, 36 to 36, 37. Yep. One more. Trying to work through these debuffs on them.
10 seconds on the clock. Matikanefukukitaru Special Week. Matikanefukukitaru Special Week. Matikanefukukitaru.
I think Special Week has more stuff. The
Special Week.
The Special Week.
Woo! Fuck.
So that was very silly, funny fun. You know, obviously, Party Dash probably is not going to be taking up any time on my commentary reel when I refresh it for 2025. But just being able to say, like, oh yeah, I flew out to California and then ended up commentating Horse Girl Mario Party, like, I'm just saying, a little something off my bucket list. Like, that's, I think the later and later I get in my commentary journey, obviously it's like, oh, you got to lock in. You're representing these games. You're representing these players. Like, you know, you gotta study up. You gotta lock in, do your homework, etc., etc. But also, like, I'm realizing the value of just doing shit for the sake of the whimsy. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a proper financial decision to fly out to commentate Horse Girl Mario Party? I think there are many financial pundits who would perhaps disagree. But I saw the opportunity and I was like, oh, of course, they have Uni and Granblue as well, so I can stop on by there. And I get to see friends that are, over on the West Coast. So it's like, it's a win-win-win, man. So I'm glad that I got to stop by. What else did we do? Dude, the Airbnb had a bunk bed, but next to the ladder of the bunk bed, there was a sink. And it just, like, completely blocked the ladder. I was like, what the hell? I had to, like, spider monkey my way around it. It was so cooked. But yeah, otherwise, Awaited Fate was very, very fun. I gotta say, I had a damn good time yapping over the horse girls. And then, of course, hanging out with the SoCal folks as well. We had to go to SND, Sundongdan. So, making sure to go for the SoCal Classic. What else? SND 3X as usual. Oh, I gotta boot up Uni on the side, because bracket is, like, about to start. Hopefully my... let's see. Tournament callouts. Sorry, I'm like checking over on the side. Let's go see if we're on stream. And if not, like who we're playing otherwise. We're putting you first on stream. All right, shit. I guess I got to boot. Yeah, we'll close up Awaited Fate stories real quick. So we were commentating Granblue, and then there was like a timer incident, right? There was like 10 seconds left on the clock. Destin had like a slight health lead over someone. And I'm like counting down, I'm like 5, 4, 3. Is he going to be able to survive? He like wins with the life lead. And then afterwards, like, while we're doing, like, a little ad break and resting up, someone goes up to Destin, and they're like, dude, that set was so sick. Like, you won with the timer. Like, how were you so aware when, like, so much was going on? And he's like, dude, I was not aware, but I heard, because our commentary table was, like, a 90-degree angle, like, right around the corner from the players. So as I'm counting down, like 10, 9, 8, 7, like Destin, I didn't realize he had like looked over at me and then started listening to me, like counting down the timer. And that's how he like realized to look at the clock and be like, oh shit, yeah, I can just like time out. So he ended up stalling and surviving and making it all the way to damn grand finals. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, that was Awaited Fate. It was fun to hang out with the SoCal homies. Yeah, it was a damn good time. So now we gotta play in bracket. I'll talk about AWT in a little bit. Let me try and snooze this ad real quick so we're not getting owned. All right, so we got a little owned, but at least I stopped on by and looked at my replays. Better than, me O2ing in previous weeks and just being like, you know what, I'll get to it eventually. I'll do it later. And then I did not do it. I would like to look up some more footage of like Lene Merkava or like Lene, Lene Hyde, just to see what I should be doing. But I would also like to finish recapping AWT. So let me do that real quick. I wish we could have hung out at AWT, but there's too many people in groups. Yeah, man. Like every time I was off commentary, I was like, I feel like I should just rest my voice. Like I want to hang out with people and like walk around the venue and see shit. And after I was done with Grand Blue, like I did that, but it was just there were a lot of folks to try and say hi to and see. And then I also had to maintain my voice too. I was like, oh, I wish I could say hi to everyone. All right, let's see. Let's change the category real quick back to just chatting. Just chatting. Just having a little laugh, a little conversation, a little yap. We'll take today's run. I think the sorry, not to blow my nose on stream. I think the advice that I got from friends very recently, I was like talking to a bunch of folks and I was like, oh, I gotta analyze stuff, I gotta watch footage, I gotta lock in, make content. And they were like, yeah, that's not wrong, like you could do that, but from multiple folks, they were just like, JAYTSU, I think you just gotta like play your games more often. Like no offense, like you gotta lock in and you gotta log in. Actually no, more so than locking in, like you just gotta log in, right? And they were like, yeah, obviously you are valuing the players and the game and taking it like a responsibility that you should be like studying up and learning, which is like good. But, if you're so detached from actually like, playing the game and wanting to, explore situations because you run into them and then like learning with a natural curiosity, like it's very easy to burn out and kind of lose sight of like, okay, why are we studying? Oh, to be better at commentary. It's like, it can be a lot more fun to study up because you're like, damn, this guy is beating my ass, or this matchup is like, something that I gotta work on. Like, it's okay to be a little more selfish, and kind of come back to letting things be from a first person POV and letting the natural curiosity flow from there. Also, yes, Slashback I'm very excited for, and that's gonna be coming up in not even a week. We're gonna be there in like 5 days, dude. Holy shit. I guess 6 days because it starts on Saturday, but there's Friday casuals. I could no, I can't. I was gonna say I could show up for Friday night karaoke, but I think it starts at 9 and then I land at midnight, so I don't think it's gonna work out. But that being said, I do only have a few obligations for Slashback weekend, so it should not be bad for me to find time to hang out with folks and hang out. Yeah, also save my voice. So there'll be Saturday karaoke at the venue. Hell yeah! I think Saturday and Sunday will both require my voice in different capacities, but overall the voice workload is not bad. So I'm very excited to hang out with folks. Get a couple drinks, nothing too crazy until all the voice work duties are done. But I just want to hang out, man. It'd be a good time. Like AWT, obviously, I was like, I should really focus up and make sure that I'm, not trolling with my voice by any means. But Slashback should be a good time, I think. You need to stream Uni and VC more so I can watch. Also true. I think Tama was like, all right, let's play a set, Mr. JAYTSU. You got to stop dodging me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do have to stop dodging you. And we played and we just hung out in VC and a bunch of folks pulled up and I was just hanging out. I was like, I just gotta play the game more and stream it on little old Discord. Like even when we finished our set, I was just like playing ranked. They were just like watching along and being like, oh, this dude is a masher. Like you're gonna think they play a character with a DP, you gotta watch out for the reversal, but like just meaty them like 5 times in a row and they'll die. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. I can I can do the movements and the motions, you know, some pressure execution notwithstanding, but it's choosing what game plan to decide, you know, and identifying things that is fun to have the little navigators in the background to be like, oh, you know, you should do this, or like, here's the thing to look out for. That like, it is much faster to learn with friends than I think to try and figure it out all by myself. Last year's AWT, Brett almost lost his voice from karaoke the night before. Alan, come on, brother, you gotta you gotta be careful. Although to be fair, you know, I get it. Karaoke is a very tempting mistress. Also, even when you're not putting in your songs, like sometimes someone will put in a song for themselves and it's a banger, and you're like, the fuck am I supposed to just like not rock out to this? Hello? Why stream Uni when you could spend your 4 a.m. streaming Cinderella Grey? I really thought about like staying up to watch Cinderella Grey as it dropped, and then I was like, I have plans in the afternoon, so I should probably just like have good sleep and then start my day off with Cinderella Grey. Thankfully, that worked out perfectly. That was like a godlike start to my day. JAYTSU, I missed the bracket run. We went 0-2, but we also went over a couple replays, which I think is good. We learned. We had Tama in VC, you know, while I was looking through some of the replays and just being like, you know, you can mash here, you can challenge here. This is not plus. Like, try that out. That shit's not plus. It's okay. We didn't do any fear and loathing. Okay. That would have really destroyed the voice. I think that would have like tipped him over the boundary. Joy Sound real setup. Lots of songs in a private background. Dude, I've never done Joy Sound karaoke, which I would love to do because it has like some of my favorite songs as a, you know, weeaboo VTuber fan, etc., etc. Bro, you know what happens? Caught. I read the manga. But I want to see it animated. Like, Paz, you understand. You also know what happens. But I want to see it come to life. You know, I want to know what Burno Light sounds like. I want to hear the bullies be pieces of shit in the background and then get owned. Like, I gotta see it for myself, man. I can't wait to see Cinderella Grey. I mean, you can watch episode 1 on YouTube and Prime Video in the United States right now. He was ready to ruin his sleep schedule for this. I thought about it. I was not ready to do it. I thought about it. It's Anya. It is Anya. Let me, I'll just find you the link. Hold on. I got it. Sing Grey Ep 1. Maybe one day I'll regret having links available in my chat, but like, it hasn't burned me yet. Also, yeah, not watching on Prime Video, because I was like a serial screen capper for this first episode. It is so beautiful. Prime Video forces you to watch, or what's it called? Advance and then rewind at 10 seconds instead of like YouTube's 5. So every time I would want to like screenshot multiple things in like a 10-second scene, that shit would actually take me like 3 minutes. It was painful, man. Bell no light, true. Simply don't click any suspicious links. You know me, man. I'm a bit of an inquisitive guy. I bet you didn't think I'd be such a hungry guy. Hungry, give me a slice. That's me with Cinderella Grey. Best anime I ever seen. I mean, it's very good. It is so good. Yeah, YouTube is nice. I'm glad we have the YouTube option in the States. All right, back to recapping so that I can, you know, get that out of the way. I don't want to forget. Okay. So we finished up Frosties. We went to Perfect Storm. We went to Awaited Fate, and then we had a little bit of downtime and headed on over back to California for Arc World Tour Finals. So thankfully, I was privileged enough to be on the commentary team and got to do some Grand Blue action. So you guys can, you can see here for the. So I was working the LCQ. 3 out of 4 of the group stages, and then top 8 on Sunday. So we had rehearsal, you know, on Thursday just to go through run of show, make sure that everything was all good on the audio end, and just kind of acquainting us to the equipment. For the most part, Tong was like, all right, you guys have done this before, but let's just, you know, double check everything. We were like, yeah, that sounds good. Pretty quick rehearsal, all things considered. So, you know, in the backstage, we were kind of just waiting for like food and getting some snacks and stuff. And as we were hanging out, we were just like talking about, you know, what games people know us for, right? Because there's a lot of multi-game commentators in the Arc World Tour Finals talent. I think Seijan was like, oh yeah, Strive people like get surprised when I do Street Fighter. Street Fighter people get surprised when I do Strive. You know, Brett was like, yeah, man, Koihime players think that I'm just on Uni. Uni players think I'm on Gundam. Gundam players think I'm on Koihime. So whoever I'm with, like, no one ever thinks I have, you know, I'm doing their game as like a main game right now. I'm like, that's pretty funny. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm just Idol Showdown and like Horse Girl guy. And Sejam chimes in. He's like, my people know you as the VTuber guy. I'm like, oh, perfect. You know, it's funny that like over the past, it's almost been a year with like Uma Musume Brain Rot. I'm not gonna lie, it was like May last year. It has taken over my Twitter posting like a parasite. Not to say that it is, you know, a parasitic kind of relationship. I'm having a damn good time rocking with it. But I think people actually sometimes forget that I had and have VTuber brain rot for quite some time. So it's funny that is still the slice of JAYTSU that remains in certain folks' heads. The Green Goblin Mask of Uma. It could be a parasitic relationship and I would welcome it. I mean, I'm the same way. I gotta be real. But yeah, Arc World Tour. So we got to do LCQs where we got the I don't have a picture of Zero with it, but I think we have a video of it later on. Do we? That's not the one. Oh, I have the video like off to the side. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Bang, 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 bang. I'll find it real quick. Wow, 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 wow. What am I looking for here? Has video from JAYTSU. I'm like looking through it in a Discord right now, that's why. Let's see. Can I just put this in downloads? I'm like scared it's gonna jump scare me with something from my fucking file explorer. Not gonna lie. Can I... Is this open? Oh, no. Okay. So let's open VLC Media Player real quick. I'll show you guys what me and Zero looked like for these silly, funny shenanigans. Yes, please keep using this app. Hold on. Good. And then full desktop.
Time. Good evening and welcome back, everybody, to the Arc World Tour Finals, brought to you by PlayStation Tournaments.
Why, man?
Time. Good evening and welcome back.
We did look a little goofy, I gotta say. So I had the Vicala ears on. I think, what is the name of the pajamas that Zero is wearing? The Erwin? Anyway, he had the whole like pajama hoodie get up. I did as well, but I was like, I have the ears on. Oh. Ewiar? You guys are gonna have to help me with the pronunciation on this. I'm not gonna lie. This one's tongue twisting me. I gotta be so for real. Ewiar? Eviar? Ewiar? Uiar? Ewiar? Anyway, so I'm in the Vicala hoodie and the pajamas as well. But I was like, it was very hot up here, obviously, because like the lights are on. We're in, you know, Cali as well, you know, and we have these very warm pajamas. You know, so we had these on for like the start of the stream and I think the first two sets, and then by the end of it, like I think a quarter of the way through the LCQ, we're like, no, we gotta take these off, and it's too hot up here. EWR, okay, EWR. Gotcha.
I gotta aspire to. Yeah, this does look quite comfortable. I can't lie. They look like they're having a great time.
Good.
So those were the shenanigans that we were up to. Over on the commentary desk. But yeah, you can even see in, like, later on, this is probably like 30 minutes into the block, I'm like, no, I cannot. I can't wear this hoodie, man. I'm gonna be cooked. But that was very fun. We didn't get to wear the Vicala ears for the rest of the weekend, which is okay. Such is life. But at least we got the, you know, we got our photo ops for a little bit. What else? Oh, there was this too. I'm thinking about the cheese. Too focused on the cheese. I'm not focused on the trap. Gotcha. What else happened here? Oh, shit, I forgot about this. Oh my god, it's so loud. Sorry, some of these videos might jump scare you guys. Hold on. So, I can keep the BGM on for a little bit. Boncho or Kevin brought me over the, what's it called? So he got the Gentle Donna way. Let me see if it's like somewhere else here. There we go. So for Uma Musume, there's a character by the name of Gentle Donna. She is like incredibly strong. Like crush a 10-kilogram iron ball into like a tiny like pin size ball, which like someone has done the calculations. Like she has enough power to like crush the earth. So she's a little bit strong. And they released a collab protein powder. So you guys might have seen the Beelzebub version of this. I think it's with the same company. But she has an apple protein powder. And I was like, wait, this seems like kind of sick. Like, I really want to try it. So Boncho hit me up during rehearsal and he was like, dude, I brought some. Do you want to try it? And I'm like, I won't say no. So I ended up trying it. And here's my little review of this apple protein.
All right, bros, we got the Gentle Donna apple protein powder. There's no way. Protein powder of Legends, by the way.
Look, man, I'm like half blue.
Wait, it's mad good. I'm kind of mad it's so good. What the hell? I will. Maybe, solid maybe. My God.
I know I sound like an industry plant chill here, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had a good amount of protein flavored, like, protein flavors in my life. But maybe it was, you know, to be fair, maybe it was just, like, well blended, like, it was chilled, there was ice in it, you know. Maybe it was more so the texture and then the flavor was, like, fine. But the flavor being good and it not being, like, you know, chunky or, like, a strange composition. I think certain protein powders are, like, they don't blend well even if you give it a lot of time and under the best temperature possible. So I think it's solid. I don't know the actual price of the Gentle Donna protein powder. I was just kind of privileged to try it out. So I'm not saying it's like a responsible financial decision for you guys if you happen to be able to proxy ship it, but know that I enjoyed it. We'll bring some back for you next month if you do want some. I won't say no. I will pay you back for it if you're able to find it. That would be sick. Mans was so excited for the protein. I really was. Duramente grapefruit. Wait, does Duramente have one too? I did not know that. This might have been before my time, actually. That is sick. Holy. Let me find a different. What the hell, man? I was trying to find a picture of me on stream, but yeah, I guess this one will do. Because I want to talk about, this is the first event that I've had that had a makeup artist. So shout out to Chairs. You know, she did like basic makeup for us backstage, like foundation, just like evening us out and also giving us a little bit more, you know, color to the face so that, because obviously the LEDs you guys can't see, obviously for the stream, like that's the whole point, but they're like bright white LEDs that are making sure everything is like well illuminated. But, you know, it's very easy to be washed out if you don't have the, you know, appropriate makeup to try and, you know, figure all that out. And also to overcome some blemishes. I'm sure you guys can see it as well. You know, it is not a stress-free life over here in the JAYTSU, life, you know, work, travel, etc., etc. It builds up some blemishes from here and there, but look at this, man. I mean, as blurry as the picture is, you know, makeup is an art, and I am very privileged and lucky that we had a makeup artist there, because I was chilling, man. I would like look back at the VODs and I'm like, oh, perfect. I don't have to, you know, stare at a zit or like a discoloration in my face. Like, life is just good. Also, I would like be about to rub my nose or like pretend to wipe sweat off my forehead for dramatic effect, and then my hand would just be like a centimeter away, and then I was like, wait, I have makeup on. I'm not supposed to like mess with my face. Like, that's, you know, the whole point is that it's, you know, set on there. Thankfully, the you know, it was sweat proof, like for the most part moisture proof as well. But I just needed to make sure not to fuck up the vibe that Chairs had you know, worked on so hard. But yeah, makeup is an art. I'm very grateful. Not gonna lie, that was very cool. Duramente grapefruit Tokateo honey drink. Holy shit. These are insane. Oh, let me pause this ad real quick. Snooze that. I think we can get through the rest of the AWT recap real quick. It came with a Tokateo shirt? That's so sick. What else happened while I was here? So we did the Gentle Donna protein powder. Oh, bros. This picture is so sick. So, oh, I should have pulled up the video of it as well, but Mo-Sin and Mawaru, I think, were the first match of the morning for Uni 2 top 8. And they started at like 10 a.m. to make sure that we like got out on schedule. So they're the first match. Like normally you would think these guys are like pretty tired. But as they set up to the stand, obviously they like handshake, they like hug a little bit. And then Mo-Sin like walks out from the chair, faces the crowd, and then he like motions Mawaru to get up. And Mawaru's like, oh, okay. He's like nodding. So I have to imagine they had talked about this beforehand. And Mo had like asked him if he wanted to do this on stage for top 8. Mo-Sin gets down to the ground, starts doing push-ups. Mawaru starts doing the same thing. And then they're like, no, it's too easy. They like look at each other. Mawaru starts doing like, this is basically like the worm, you know, during his push-ups. So he's like kind of getting some air. And then Mo-Sin looks over. He's like, you're right. He starts doing like clapping push-ups and like, you know, getting some real altitude. So like this shot by Rel is so good, man. Like he's actually cool on floating IRL. This is one of my favorite shots of AWT. I think the actual video is like somewhere on my Twitter. We can like find it later. But for whatever reason, when I look at my media tab, yeah, it's no longer TNS JAYTSU'S, sorry. It's no longer Party Dash commentary. Yeah, I can't scroll past it. I can't find it. You guys can, I'm sure. Could I look it up right now? What was the title of that quote? It was what did I caption it? All right, let's look up. Oh, not my notifications. I gotta look through those later. /user morning. Oh, there we go. All right, let's hold on. You guys gotta see this shit. It's so good.
If y'all are watching, love y'all. So glad to
Yep. So we start stretching.
Also has to stretch. Okay, we're going to stretch together.
And Mawaru's like, yeah, okay. I see what we're about. The little clap before.
Let's go.
This is so sick. This is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. Oh, the leg ups too?
Yo, we got esports and real sports.
Dude, look, the fucking pass is bouncing, man. It's getting as much air as Mo-Sin is. He's like, I'm tapping out, man. I'm good.
Let's go. This is just like, this is what I love to see.
This is so
great
sick.
showmanship both in the game community.
So I have to imagine they had like talked this out beforehand, because Mo, I think on like Sunday night, he was just talking about like getting to know the JP players and like, you know, obviously some of them are better at English than the others. You know, Mo-Sin, I think, has been trying to learn Japanese a little bit on the side. So, you know, he was trying to, you know, speak in simple English, and then when he, you know, knew the term, obviously try and look for Japanese. But I think between both groups as well, they just like, they were fine having like Google Translate out as well in case they didn't know like what to say. So if I'm not mistaken, they were like hanging out, like going for tacos and getting food in the area. So they had already kind of gotten to know each other beforehand. You know, a bunch of them just like went out. So I'm sure at some point, you know, after they had qualified, they saw the LCQ, because Uni did not have group stages, I don't think, right? Because it was not 16. Like, it was just 7 qualifiers and then the LCQ. So they kind of knew pretty early on after the LCQ who was going to be going into who. So Mo was probably just like, Mawaru, do you want to do push-ups at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? He's probably like, hell yeah, let's do it. So this was a very fun moment. Yeah, and then later after, I think this was locals at Guildhouse right after AWT. I think they brought the Gentle Donna protein powder back over to locals, and everyone, I guess, was just trying it out. Like, everyone would just get a glass and try a little bit. I mean, it's fire, man. You gotta kill that shit. Oh yeah, also, I didn't address the caption here. So thankfully I had my hotel covered, but I didn't assume that I was gonna get a double bedroom, but I think they ran out of singles. So I had the privilege of getting a double bed to myself. So I had one bed for me, and then I was like, what do I do with this other bed? Like, no one is gonna be pulling up or like needs to stay over. I'm sure everybody already has their travel and accommodation plans already set out. So I was like, I mean, what else am I gonna do, man? Like, I'll just sleep in an alternating bed every day and figure out which one is more comfy. So I told Lid this, just to like shoot the shit while we were hanging out, and he just starts laughing at me. He's like, bro, are you serious? I'm like, what? what else am I supposed to do, man? He's like, you could put your clothes on it. It's like extra storage space for like your luggage. You could set your outfits out ahead of time. Like, you could do anything, man. Like, what's the point? I'm like, well, the beds do feel a little bit different. He's like, okay, do you have a favorite? I'm like, they're both my favorites in their own way. He's like, you are so stupid, man. I was like, all right, you got me. Maybe that was a inefficient use of my resources, perhaps. All right, I got 4 minutes before this ad. Let's close things up. But speaking of being stupid, oh my god. When I was up there live and we finished group stages and I was with Ebonic Plague, and I was like, all right, guys, we got 3 North American reps, 3 Japanese reps, and 3 EU reps. And that is going to round out our top 8. And I realized, like, in my brain, I was like, I fucked up the math so bad. Like, I'm off by 1, but like, come on, man. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is not, it's not 8. So I had to backtrack and be like, oh, sorry, we only had 2 EU reps. And then I just looked over at Ebonic. I was like, you got to bail me out of this one, man. Like, I've cooked myself a little bit too hard, and he just like moved on to the next topic. Thankfully, I think for top 8, I think in general, my commentary that weekend, like, I got good sleep for the most part. I had all the caffeine in the world that I could possibly want. I think it was, thankfully, some of my best work on one of the biggest stages. Obviously, there's a lot more that I want to dig into and learn a little bit more about, you know, before the next event. But I think just looking at it overall, I think the energy, you know, keeping up the play-by-play, and in general, the you know, the hosting and the vocab availability when I needed it, it felt good. It was a damn good time. And we got a little Grand Blue group picture as well, which was very nice. That was cool. But also, you know, I was just watching some streams while I was back in my hotel room and hanging out, and I saw so someone had tweeted at me and they were like, I'm watching ARC Finals right now, and JAYTSU appeared on camera, and I got shocked because I forgot he's an actual commentator and not just some horse girl loving dude on Twitter. Apparently, I was not the only one who had seen this tweet. Oh, I gotta turn this up, actually.
I'm just saying, man, if I could do modern controls on one hand, Uma Musume on the other, once EN drops, like, you already know what I'm rocking, but looks like these gamers are...
Dude, speaking of...
Wait, you can't even see... Oh my god, why did I
just said
why did I expand that so much? Hold on.
Somebody on Twitter said about JAYTSU, I thought this guy was just a horse girl fan. I didn't know he was a commentator. When he brings up the Uma Musume, which is like a horse girl racing mobile gacha game on commentary, that's why, okay? That's all I'll say.
He knows too much. And afterward, I was also wondering like why he knew what that was, or why he was so familiar with the franchise.
You knowing what that is kind of wild. You know why? I know
Chad asked on my behalf.
Because Majin Obama had a stint. He did a stint in Horse Girl jail. And it like just kept coming up. He just would not stop talking about it. And all I remember is he just kept saying grass-fed grassroots. That was all he said over and over.
I didn't realize Majin Obama was so sick like that. I mean, I knew he was sick, but I didn't realize that he was an Uma Musume fan in the past as well. So that has shot him up on my commentary tier list with an incredible amount of bias, I gotta say. But fun event. I got to see a lot of folks, and thankfully have a lot of downtime as well. So my voice and brain were in a good state, I think, for the you know, the commentary shenanigans that happened. His favorite was Taiki's shuttle. Yeah, I wouldn't have realized. That's pretty sick. But yeah, Arc World Tour Finals was very fun. So was Frosty's, and even the back-to-back between Perfect Storm and getting stuck in a you know, storm for a little bit, and a Weighted Fate as well. But I got Slashback coming up in a couple weeks. I have Combo Breaker coming up in May as well. So we're gonna be prepping, we're gonna be gaming, we're gonna be having a damn good time up until then. But thanks for stopping on by, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the you know, little recap of where I've been the first few months of 2025. So yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll probably try and do another recap for Slashback. If not after that, then with Combo Breaker as well. But thanks for tuning in. Peace, peace.